Hey folks, what's going on? Happy Mindset Monday. Today is Monday, May 16th. Listen, we are coming to you live. I'm your host, Angel. As you already know, the Young Entrepreneur Mindset Podcast. That's right. Write it down. Remember this podcast because one day you're going to be hearing this podcast on big platforms, man. That's my dream. And listen, I appreciate your support. I appreciate any feedback, like, comments. If you're tuning in right now, live, please subscribe to the channel, man. Show your support. Anything, any kind of support is important, man. We appreciate, a lot of podcasters and guests. Listen, we start with one drip at a time, but one drip at a time, you're going to fill that bucket little by little. All right. So, guys, please follow me also on Facebook, Instagram. Let me go ahead and show you my Instagram. And you can see my Instagram account is Angel Santos Podcast. Follow me on Twitter under Angel Santos 75. And the audio download for you guys who are probably tuning in right now. Thank you. Thank you so much for downloading this stream, either on Anchor Podcast, Google Podcast, Spotify, Apple Podcast, iHeartRadio, Pandora, you name it. Wherever you get your podcast, this podcast is there. So thank you guys, and thank you for joining. Again, it's a Monday, man. Listen, I hope you had a great weekend. I hope you are ready for another successful week. All this week and all the success that you will have depends on you, depends on your attitude, and it depends on that mindset. And today I have a special guest. We're going to be talking about why you should adopt a progress based mindset. And listen, today I have a gentleman by the name of John Weberg. I want you to subscribe to his channel, follow his Facebook, follow his Instagram, go to his website. And listen, if you need further instructions on how to do that, he's going to be here with me right now live, and he's going to be talking about that and much more. So get ready, folks, because today we have an important episode and important content that you need to listen. All right. You need to get your mindset straight. All right. So, guys, without further ado, man, let's go ahead and welcome this gentleman that has a great mindset of himself. Come on, John Weberg. How you doing, brother?
Doing fantastic. Thank you very much for such an amazing intro. And I'm very excited to deliver some good stuff
Yes.
to the people.
Yes, man. Listen, I'm fired up. Listen, and not for nothing, but I did listen to your YouTube channel right before we came on, and man, you are like fire. That's why I was like, wait a minute, I need that energy, man. I just, grab that energy, and because you have some great content, man. So congratulations as well on your YouTube channel, and not only on the YouTube channel, guys, but you have to listen to the testimonies that he has with friends, people, business partners, etc., clients that actually work with this young man, and he has an amazing film. We're going to be talking about that. So, John, before we get into it, this is for the purpose of the audience to get to know who John Weberg is, even maybe before entrepreneurship and after entrepreneurship. So, who was John like before? Like, what was your dreams when you were growing up, etc.? Just so the audience could get to know a little bit more about you.
For sure. So I got started really young, around the age of 13. But before and around this age, I was actually a heavy gamer. Still am. I still love the game all the time, whether it's on PlayStation. Don't like Xbox. PlayStation, on the computer, you name it. It's all I love to do because I could do it with my friends. I was always been a people person, and I could do it with people I cared about, and it was just something to do with my time.
Okay.
And what got me into doing what I do now, into business, thinking for myself, kind of adopting a mindset to make progress for yourself and make progress for yourself. So actually, as you as a focus, you can help other people, help your family, help your friends more. What happened was around between the ages, it's around the age of the 12 or 13, my family moved into welfare apartments in someone's basement. So we were extremely poverty stricken. We lost our cars. The repo man took our cars. We were living in someone else's basement, and we didn't have much to our name to say. And what happened was my dad turned to self-development. He turned to starting his own online business. And then I saw the freedom and lifestyle that it helped transition our lives out of that. And I'm like, I'm a smart kid. I think I can do the same thing. And that kind of is the beginning, humble beginnings of what started what is now doing not too shabby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's amazing. So what happened to John after high school? Like, did you were you thinking about going to college? Was college something that you had planned, or then you say, you know what? No, I'm gonna freelance this. I'm gonna do something else.
Right. So what happened was I was dabbling throughout high school in business, and I was heavily in like self development. Like I was reading and listening to Tony Robbins, Les Brown,
Okay.
Jim Rohn, all the best. But I still had college as an option. I was probably in the top 1% to 0.5% of my class. I was straight honors, all A's. I could have gotten into probably almost any college I wanted.
Yeah.
But again, what happened was right at the end of high school, the very end, I was realizing I can go down this business path and keep doing that, or I can go to college. But from what I've seen of my family that went to college, sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. There's a lot of debt associated with it. And then also I started looking up college statistics, the dropout rate, the amount of
Oh
people who are
yeah.
not doing something that even is involved with college, like
Yeah.
a degree. So someone goes to college to be a doctor and ends up being, a mechanic. So I saw a bunch of that, and I thought I'm really passionate about this business stuff. I think I could take it seriously and move it forward. So I decided, you know what, I'm going all out, business and developing myself and helping others do the same. That's what I'm going to focus on. That's all I'm going to do. I'm going to cut my bridges. I'm going to burn my bridges and make business and self development all I do. And that's all I've done
Yeah.
since, ever.
Wow. Okay. So talk to me about. Let's go ahead and get into it. I mean, why should someone adopt a progress-based mindset? Like, what is that definition? What is the definition for you about that progress-based mindset?
Right. So basically, for me, it's a mindset that is focused not on necessarily the end goal. Like, of course, when you accomplish the end goal of some kind,
Yeah.
you're going to be happy, and that's something that will drive you. Like, I have 4 businesses running right now. I'm developing a fifth. That fifth one is my end goal. But between developing this business, I have all these things I need to get done beforehand. And I suggest people do this in any aspect of life, whether it's for your business, for your personal finances, for your planning your kids' future. I make a laid out plan and series of steps of exactly what I need to get done in small progress, small steps, and I divvy it up. So when I reach those small accomplishments and when I make that progress, that's when you feel the most fulfilled. Of course, at the end, you feel the most fulfilled. But whenever you make that, for example, people always remember. What do they remember? They remember their first sale in their online business more than
Yeah.
anything else. Like for example, I remember the first time I made I think it was a $27 sale when I was like 14, and I'm like, oh, this stuff actually works. It's when someone's a car salesman or someone's doing you name it. When they make that first little piece of progress, they remember it, and it's something that as you keep making more and more, the milestones mean a lot more to you. And that's what I found to be true and more fulfilling is each of those little goals that gets accomplished, it just boosts your confidence in doing more of what you're going to do, and it makes
Exactly.
you just feel fulfilled.
Okay, that sounds good. And now during that progress, obviously, and for the benefit of a lot of people, I mean, I experienced this too. You run into some roadblocks. You run into some challenges. Now let's get into that. What challenges and roadblocks did you encounter,
Mm-hmm.
but you overcame at the same time?
A lot of it, I think, was personal. Like people dealt themselves in every situation,
Okay.
almost nonstop, all the time, and that is something that is why personal development and just focusing on just that next small little goal is so important because it's not such a huge leap. So one is self doubt. You're going to face a lot of self doubt. I faced a lot of self doubt from actually a lot of family members that I will not name, who not just family members. I had teachers take me out of the classroom and say, John, you can't start a business of your own. You can't go along this path. You have to go to college. You have to do these things. And I
Wow.
also had kids, teachers laugh at me and pull me aside and try to get me to not do what I was doing. So a lot of this not just going to be self-criticism, self-doubt, but also criticism from others. And
Oh,
again, this is where I think it's best to get through these roadblocks. There's of course financial roadblocks and a lot of different circumstances.
yeah.
And to get through the self doubt and what other people are saying is you have to focus on yourself, but not in a selfish way. Because by focusing on always get further in your career or focusing on your own development of your mindset and how you think about things, you will become a
Yeah.
better person. And by becoming a better person, you'll influence those better around you. So when I faced criticism, I thought, okay, so all these kids are making fun of me at school, like all the time. Most of my family doesn't believe in me. The financial struggle, because I started with very little money, if not no money, to make this happen. What can I do? What can I myself do? Because I can't control what these people are going to do. I can't control other circumstances. Nature and life's going to happen. What can I
Right.
control for myself? And I decided, okay, one, I know that physically, your body and your health is huge for your mindset, your hormones, for many different parts of your life. So I'm like, I need to get fit. I need to take care of my physical life. I'm like, well, obviously, for my financial life, I need to move my business forward. So regardless of what everyone else thinks, I need to focus on what small progress I can make in this area to keep it moving forward, regardless of what other people think. And it's hard to do that because in society, in this day and age, most people want Jane down the block to look at and love the car they got, right?
Yeah.
They want other people to like their stuff. But when you get away from that and just go, okay, how can I work on myself and keep making these small progress changes in each of these areas, it'll move you forward. It'll make you more confident. And I think the biggest thing too is it will start influencing the world around you.
Exactly.
So my dad started working out with me. When I started working out more heavily, my dad started working out. And then my uncle started working out with us. We all started working out together. And then, of course, business grew. And by business growing, I started helping more people. And you take a look at it, anything you really work on it as an individual, at some point as you do it, like you mentioned in the beginning, is for when you're podcasting or starting any passion, it's a dripple, dripple, drip. It's a small little things that are happening. It
Yeah.
takes a consistent, nonstop, almost aggression and obsession to make it happen, combined with, okay, I'm going to do this little thing. I'm going to get to 100 podcast downloads. I'm going to get to 1,000 and 10,000. And doing that with every part of your life is just life changing because you're not so focused on the end goal that you distract from. You always hear the journey is better than the end goal, but it's really the fulfillment of little, like I said, little progresses and accomplishments you're making on that journey.
Yeah. That's absolutely true, man. I appreciate that. So let's talk about your website real quick because I see here on your website, right? People, I invite you to go to johnweberg.com. And just for the benefit of the listeners as well,
Mhm.
when someone goes there, I see here your success is my obsession. That's a good pitch right there, man. I like
Thank
that.
you.
Yeah, that's beautiful, man. And so, of course, someone will click and says work with John. So, what can someone expect? What is the first steps? The what the along the way and towards the final. Like, what are the beginning, the middle, and the end when someone wants to work with John? What's the expectations there?
Right. So first of all, it always has to be. I'm a heavy proponent of working with only people that one want to help themselves and that two are ready for it. So I don't just work with anyone, and I don't think any business owner or someone building any passion should. You want to work with only high quality people because then
Of course.
customer retention's better. Because then you have a better experience working with the person. You name it. So I'm a heavy vetter. I'm making sure I only actually work with the best people possible. And then once I've found out and discovered through talking with someone, being on a call with them, you name it, messaging back and forth, okay, this is a good person. And I'm a heavy vetter because not everyone in this world is someone who you truly want to be around you and influence and be someone you can work with.
That's true.
That's why partnerships and friendships are so impactful if you get the right ones. So that's
Yeah.
the first step, is really finding out what the person is like as a person, even if I do business with them. I want to know what they're like as a person, and what their goals are and what they expect. Because if they have moon expectations and they're like, well, I have some money or I'm willing to do a couple of things, I need to have you ready to take the action forward. And if I don't work with someone, I still always make sure that I give them some kind of training, strategies, thoughts, tips, something, because no matter who you work with, you want to make sure you're still giving something of value that people can
Of
still
course.
actually take and use, just to be a good person.
Yeah.
Then, if I work with someone, it's a real deep dive to their habits, how they think about the problems, because that's a huge issue people face, is how they view their problems and how they don't change their perspective of the problem to make it into something good, or they don't think enough about the problem, about how to solve it. They just focus on the issue of the problem. They don't actually go, okay, I have this problem in my family, in my life, in my business, you name it. what creative way can I go about fixing it? Because of course, there's all types of stuff that happen in life that we can't control in
Of
relationships.
course. Yeah.
The dog died, or the car exploded. Whatever.
Yeah.
I'm kidding here, but all these things happen. You have to be creative because I think that's why I've been so successful in life. Is whether it's been in business, whether it's been in writing books, or doing whatever I've done with my family and friends, super close, super tight, going amazing. Thank God.
Absolutely.
Um, I've always made sure, one, I work my hardest at it, and two, there's always got to be some kind of solution or something you can do. And that's why I
Absolutely.
try to teach people when I work with them in any fashion is there's always usually something you can do. If you can't, let it be, let the issue go by. But if you can, figure it out because
Yeah.
there's got to be something, right?
No,
Um,
absolutely. There also has to be a mind shift. Your
Definitely.
mindset has to shift. I'm a fan of that. Even though you could be working at 9 to 5, you still have time between 6 and 10 at night. Those 4 hours that
Yep.
you could dedicate to what your dream or your passion is. Like your mindset has to understand that when you go home, it's not to go watch Netflix or download a movie.
Hmm.
Invest your time, read a book, listen to podcasts. I mean, that's how I got started with this podcast. I started
Right.
investing my time listening to
Hmm.
how podcasts were done because I thought podcast was something that was with just Apple. I'm an
Oh,
Android.
really?
Yeah, yeah. I'm an Android. I'm like, oh, podcast. That's something with Apple, and I don't know. So I
Right.
wasn't educating myself. But when I took the time to study and listen and find out and do the research, here I am today. You know what I'm saying? So people need to
Totally.
shift their mind from like, okay, I know I got a job. I do my job over here. That's my income, but
Yep.
I need to look for something else. So they also, I think, like you were saying, so people don't misunderstand you and say,
Mhm.
"Oh, well, John is real picky about the people." Well, what he's saying in between the lines is that if you're that person that wants to better your life, you want to go to the next level, you need to shift your mind. Your mindset
Yep.
needs to
Yep.
shift.
If you're open to it, you got to be open to it.
Absolutely.
For sure. And I think too, people, you touched on something I think is really important. I think people have way more time. This is another important thing about business and just life general. Have way more time than you think. For example, especially if you're a younger entrepreneur, you don't need 8 hours of sleep. You can sleep when you're dead. You don't need. Here's an example of this. When
Yeah.
I was first running my business, I worked. The only job I've ever really worked was at Walmart. Worked at Walmart for 6 months.
See.
So I worked at Walmart while I was going to school, while I was working on my business. It's a true story. So I would go to school. I'd wake up at 6. I'd go to school until 3 to 4. Get home. I worked at 5. Worked at Walmart for I believe it was 6 or 7 hours. So that means I was off work say at 11, maybe got home at 12. Then I would work on my business for between 3 and 4 hours. So I
See.
literally between the ages of I believe it was like for a whole year and a half, between like 17 and 18, I was getting 3 to 4 hours of sleep. And that's something that not everyone wants to do. But
Exactly.
if you want to truly move ahead, at some length ahead of other people and just improve any area of your life or business or your relationships, and you know what? I don't need an extra hour of sleep. I can let go of an extra hour of sleep to spend time with my kid. I can let go of 2 hours of sleep to spend time talking to my wife and just talking through issues, bills, whatever. And I think that's a huge part of it too, is just taking the time and realizing, one, I don't need that much sleep. By the time it's 12 o'clock tomorrow, you're not even going to realize that you didn't sleep 2 hours extra last night.
Yeah.
Um, and I also think something that's also important, kind of it's related, is fine tuning and optimizing what you do with your time in business and in normal life. So, like when
Yeah.
you're doing the dishes, when you're working on your business, when you're doing lead generation, when you're doing anything, you want to make sure that you are doing and generating the most results possible in the smallest amount of time. So something that I do is I optimize, which of course sometimes I'm going to scroll on my phone. Of course, sometimes you're going to scroll through Facebook for 7 hours. You know, but at some point, if you really want to have a productive life, you can fit in more fun times and more traveling and more all these other things. If you fit in between the traveling and fun stuff, optimizing your time and what you're doing with it. Because
That's right.
sometimes people go, oh well, I was doing online marketing all day, but really they were on Facebook for 3 hours. They sent a
Yeah.
couple messages, and maybe they made a YouTube video where if I get to it, I know for a fact I can probably shoot 2 to 3 YouTube videos. They're each between 10 and 20 minutes long. I can send emails to my email list. I can contact partners and other business people, and I can drive traffic and do 3 or 4 other things in a 6 hour time period. It's because I just get to work, make sure as I work, I figure out how to shorten the time period of doing that work. And
Okay.
you self scale your optimization of decreasing time and increasing the result you generate.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So when I see here, learn how to hyper optimize your business for
Mm-hmm.
maximum profit using proven 8 by 4x ROI strategy. Can you explain briefly what that is, or is that a little secret to the business?
No, I gotta explain. So
Okay.
I've estimated through calculating just how much profit we've generated, how much we spent on advertising.
Okay.
In our business, my business, I've done around 8.4 times. I think it's 8.4, 8.2 times ROI, which is incredible. And that's why it's scaling time for me. It's time for me to scale, finish my 5th business, and go crazy. But what that hyperscale means is often in business, whether people are just getting started, whether they have an offline business, whether they have an online business, you name it, they are doing some kind of lead generation. They are talking to some prospects. They are creating content. But one, they're not doing it at the speed and scale they need to. And two, they're not doing it again in the highest profit producing way. So, for example, when I sold one of my books, I've self-published. Oh my God, I can't speak today. I've self-published 2 books, right? And on the second one, the first book I sold, I just sold it just the digital and physical book for $9. Then the second one, I did the same thing, but halfway through the little mini small promotion I've done, I never really promoted them. I just put them out there. Whoever buys them, buys them. When I did the second
Exactly.
one, I'm like, I wonder what would happen if I added, an upsell or downsell to this. Because in my normal marketing, I have upsells and downsells and different things. And product and services, I cross-sell to different audiences, right? So
Okay.
I added one $37 order bump, which is literally on a checkout card of a page for if you're selling anything online. And you could do this in person, too, in a different way. For a checkout cart, there's a little box that says, do you want to add this $37, I forgot, I think it was a mini course or something, right?
Yeah.
50% of every person that bought the book bought that $37 upsell. So if it's a $9 book and 50% of people are taking the $37 upsell, that's like a 4x on profit alone just off of, that's not including if you upsold, for example, to like a mastermind, then to a even larger course, to other products and services, you name it.
Exactly.
So I think people in their content production, in their sales processes or sales funnels, in their advertising, in their email marketing, their follow-up, you name it, any part of the business, they need to fine-tune and optimize by having upsells, downsells, resells, by doing split testing. Split testing is huge. There's a bunch of different things they can do to optimize and make way more money from their business and from life than they thought they could. And real quickly, I'll say too,
Exactly.
this might slip my mind. I'm not sure. And a perfect example of this, I just forgot. I was literally at the tip of my tongue, and it went right through. So let's keep going.
Yeah, no problem, man. No, because it's important for people to understand about the website because let's say for example, let's say someone doesn't have a business, right? Or they
Okay.
have an idea for a business. Can you still work with them even though they don't
Yes.
have a business yet formed?
Yes. So something I love doing too. So is my main messaging is usually for people who have a business, an established business, want to optimize and scale it without increasing the amount of money they're spending. But
Okay.
if someone comes to me, absolutely, and wants to get started, wants to flush out the idea, how to build out a sales
Exactly.
process, some advertising, some copy for any idea they have, I would more than happy help them because there's a select few foundations of building out any venture, any passion, running a podcast, doing any of these things. There's a foundation that if you follow it, most likely you're going to do decent. You're going to at least minimally do decent or good. So I'll
Okay.
help people in any fashion or form or way fine tune any idea for a podcast, for starting a business, you name it, because I love educating people.
Yeah.
And truly, I think, among the few who truly love working with people. Like
Yeah.
making people smile, laugh, have fun is what I live for with my friends. If I will, even with my friends, this is true. I will even purposely make myself look like an idiot just to make them laugh because I'm like,
Yeah.
what can I say in this situation to this person to make them all laugh and make them all go, did you really just, because it's not about me. Again, and if people practice this in life and in business, the more you give, the more you just be yourself. It ends
Yep.
up turning out really, really well. I can absolutely promise you that. Just because I know a lot of people, this is off topic too, but I think a lot of people are so scared to be themselves because they're not sure how people are going to react. But if you just roll with it, just be
That's
yourself,
it.
it all turns out pretty well.
That's it, man. That's it. That's why I love doing this podcast too. Like I said, it's all about you. It's showcasing what you do and whatnot. So when you help others, man, listen, the Lord above, man, He's gonna be blessing you in many so many ways. So
Right?
let's talk about now that we talk about a little bit about you mentioned podcast. You also have a podcast.
I don't have a podcast, but I'm on a podcast spree because
Okay. Okay.
I'm trying to, and I think people should do this again, regardless of what your expertise is. If you want to work with more people, if you want to reach more people, spread your passion, spread whatever you're doing, or to start an idea, you got to get people to know you. Often, you may be
Exactly.
familiar with him. I think you might be. There's a guy named Grant Cardone. He's pretty well
Oh
known.
yeah.
Grant Cardone. I hope he sees this. I don't know if he will, but I hope he does. Grant Cardone, right there. So let me explain. Grant Cardone gets a lot of flack for many different things.
Yeah. Yeah.
But one of the most important, critical things of business that Grant Cardone gets right, because he's massively successful,
Exactly.
is attention. Attention and brand recognition is.
That's it.
I never believed it because when I was starting my business and marketing journey, I never thought like it meant much. But it's branding and being known at that level is basically like word of mouth. Because everyone, if I say Grant Cardone, almost every entrepreneur of every kind knows his name, knows exactly what he does. They understand his style, and that's what I'm doing. It's what I advocate for other people that they do. Whether you have a barbershop, whether you sell clothes, like my girlfriend wants to start a business selling clothes. Not my thing, but if she wants to do it, sounds good. I'll help her with that.
Yeah.
I think people need to realize they need to get their name out there because when they do that, it'll start. What's the word for it? It will start getting even deeper into the marketplace and into people's minds, and
Exactly.
you'll be remembered. And it will continually help grow your business passively because you got yourself on 100 podcasts, you're creating content, you're
Yeah.
advertising this, all of it combined.
Yep.
You're setting yourself up for only success.
And what's incredible, speaking of Grant Cardone, because yeah, I love his material. I found him on YouTube. A guy that has no television network. He was not
Right?
on TV. He was not no commercial. He did everything self. That's why he was self
Yep.
a market. He marketed himself first and his brand. And I followed him for many years when he started his growth conference and everything. But speaking of YouTube, you also have your YouTube channel. So what is your main focus on your YouTube channel? Because I know I've seen a lot of your content is like how to get leads, how to get more followers, how to get more views, etc. What's your main focus there?
Absolutely. YouTube is my growing passion because it is the platform to be on, and I think it will. It's the second biggest
Yeah,
search
it
engine in
is.
the world right now.
Yeah,
My focus is to again give to people as much value in the marketplace as possible because when you give Gary Vee, another huge marketer who people like and don't like for many reasons,
yeah,
the reason why Gary Vee is successful is because he truly follows the doctrine he says too. Like Grant Cardone is getting attention. Gary Vee puts so much value into the marketplace. He generates customers and goodwill in the marketplace automatically. So I want to give financial uh, mindset, self development, and kind of just important news on how to operate life. And also business, of course, business optimization, strategy techniques, you name it. So really
okay,
financial mindset and business is what I post about every day, almost every single day. Sometimes I slip up. I'm eating too much pizza or whatever.
yeah,
um, just about every day, I upload something involving those four things. Also, sometimes once in a while, I'll sneak in a carnivore because I know I'm gonna get flack for this. I know I just said I ate pizza.
yeah.
About 80% of the time, I'm on the carnivore diet, and I upload videos of me eating carnivore food. Like I just got a freezer. I got a quarter of a cow, and included in the quarter of a
Wow.
cow, I did not know was the actual cow's heart. Now, I don't know if you know how big a cow's heart is. It is about yay big, actually yay big. So I got that. I posted
Wow.
that. That was funny. But yeah, I just love, as people usually can tell, which is why also my stuff usually does really well. Is I'm truly myself all the time,
Yeah.
and my content I create on YouTube or TikTok or my email list, whatever. I want to replicate that because in my
Okay.
personal life, it's done amazing for building friendships and partnerships and good family
Absolutely.
relationships. So it's going to do good for the rest of my life.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. So before we go, talk a little bit about your blog, emoneypeeps.com. What is that about?
So my dad and I are affiliate marketing kind of partners. We've both done affiliate marketing since forever. That's what originally got our family. It's been the main bread and butter of what I've done for years and years and years.
Yeah.
So what we do in that blog is basically anything business, again, and finance related. If someone wants to go to emoneypeeps.com and learn about everything from how to optimize ads to how to improve your email marketing to reviews of services to reviews of products to see if they're any good or not. We shoot everything there and in between. We write about because as along with YouTube, SEO and blogging is
Oh yeah.
still one of the best platforms to
Yeah.
grow an audience and to get your message out there. And again, truly, I love people and I love giving so much. You know, some of the articles we write take hours and hours, and we'll write 10,000 word articles, which
Okay.
takes a long time. We'll optimize them, SEO, yada yada. I'll make a YouTube video for the article. It will syndicate it. We'll do all these different things because we truly want to help people as much as possible. And the reason why I think
Yeah.
this is deeply embedded and why I talk about it so much is because, again, coming from a rough background among just the poverty and stuff, is you feel for people. You feel for people who are in your situation, who are trying to
Absolutely.
right, who are trying to make a difference, who are trying to do something different, and you want to help them, even if it's something small. One little lifestyle change. Maybe they treat their kids better. Maybe they run their business a little bit more profitably so they can get better Christmas gifts for the family. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter. If they
Yeah.
can do something better, then you've done good in the world, and that's what matters, truly.
That's true, man. That's true. I appreciate that, man. That comes from the
Mhm.
heart. I know when you're speaking from the heart, man. And
Always.
that's yeah, that's honest, man. And I like that about people like yourself. So I like to ask this last question before we close this segment. Like, what is John Weberg's next big goal? Like, where do you see the next 2 to 5 years that you want to be able to say, okay, I have this a goal now, but in the next 2 to 5 years, I want to be able to say, okay, I accomplished my goal.
The next goal is to finish developing something I'm working on, which will have
Okay.
around 500 to 600 hours of training. I want to, because I love people and because I love business and mindset and growth, I want to train companies and businesses' entire workforce. So let's just say you have an advertising team or a sales team, and you want them to double how much they close. You want them to generate higher quality leads. You want them to do any of those things. You want to make your HR department hire better quality employees.
Yeah.
Anything regarding any part of business, I'm going to create the most in-depth, masterful training on that has ever been created and have it as an all-in-one company and business training platform. It's going to be probably about a year before it comes out, so be watching for it.
Okay.
But I think it's going to truly help people impact their lives and their business, whether you're a business or you're an employee. It'll completely change the results you're able to generate and how fulfilled you feel performing whatever actions and things you're doing in a company. So that is coming out. I'm probably going to write another book. I like
Yeah.
writing books because it gets your thoughts out there. I'm probably going to write another book. That I'm creating that company, which the reason why, real quickly, I'm making it like that too, is because
Yeah.
I realized that in any entrepreneurial journey, if you're really wanting to go above and beyond, you have to design something that can scale to the level you want to grow to. So I want to
Absolutely.
be at a nine-figure level, so I'm designing something that has the capability to be at the nine-figure level. Think of, I don't know if you've heard of Salesforce. Salesforce is like the largest CRM. It's a huge platform. It's a technology for any business function you need. You want webinars, you want affiliate marketing software, you want an autoresponder, you name it. they have everything. I want to become the them, but with education. And real quickly, before I go, I have two quotes, two of my quotes that I love to
Yeah,
share.
yeah.
One is aspire for progress, hunger for success, and strive for greatness. Which obviously, what that means is pretty obvious. Don't stop, keep moving forward, and keep going to the next thing. And also, my other favorite quote of mine, I got three. I forgot the third one, but I know the second one. The second one is, and I hope I don't butcher my own quote, your attitude is not defined by your life. Your life is defined by your attitude, which means that basically, regardless of what happens in life, how you decide is the key word, to feel about it and what to do about it is what defines your life. It's not what happens. It's not if someone
Right.
dies. It's horrible. It's not if the economy plunges, which it will soon. That's horrible too. All these different things are horrible. But what you do about it and how you decide to think about it impacts you, your life, and the people around you. So aspire for
That's great.
progress, hunger for success, and strive for greatness. And your attitude is not defined by your life. Your life is defined by your attitude.
Man, I love it, man. You nailed it, bro. That's a perfect closing right there. You closed the deal right there, man.
Thank you.
I appreciate it, man. John, listen, man. Best of success to you,
Thank you.
your family, your business, man. You have a great heart. I hope that God gets you with more people, and you keep growing. I know you're gonna keep growing. You're gonna keep growing.
Thank you.
It's just gonna take time. So be patient. Be
Absolutely.
patient. I know you will. So much success to you, man. And I hope that we'll have you maybe sometime in the future on this podcast again. All right.
Sounds good. Thank you so much. And the audience, thank you so much for listening. Make sure you listen to every other podcast episode next to this. Make sure you share this. Make sure you get this out there and
Yeah.
listen and use the strategy you've heard. I appreciate you, Angel, so much.
Yeah,
And I
bro.
wish everyone the absolute best.
Absolutely, man. Thank you, man. I'm gonna have all your links on the description below so that everyone can follow you and
Awesome.
look you up. All right.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
All right, man. I appreciate your time, brother. You take care.
Peace out.
All right. Peace out. All right, folks. So there you have it, man. Once again, thank you for joining the Young Entrepreneur Mindset Podcast. And please subscribe not only to my channel, subscribe also to John Weberg. Subscribe to his channel because he has some great content, man. Look up his website. He's a young entrepreneur with a great mindset. And not only a great mindset, he has a great heart. He wants to help you. He wants to help you reach your potential, not only in your business, but also in your personal life. All right. So with that being said, man, before we leave, I want to leave you with a positive note as usual on the Proverbs. Proverbs 16:32. It says, "It is better to be patient than powerful. It is better to win control of over yourself than over whole cities." All right, folks. So there you have it, man. Listen, I'll keep you guys updated with the next episode and my next guest. So once again, thank you for tuning in. God bless you, and I'll see you in the next episode. Stay safe.